Welcome back to Yoga with Jenna. Today we're going to be focusing on the neck and the shoulders where we're going to tear it apart. No, I'm just kidding. But by the end of this video, you're going to feel so much relief in all this area where so many people tend to hold a lot of tension and stress. So let's get into it. You might want 1 or 2 blocks today, but no worries if you don't have a block. We can go ahead and get started in a tabletop position. So come onto your hands and your knees. If you have sensitive knees, you might put a blanket to cushion there. And we'll start with thread the needle. So we'll reach the right arm up to the ceiling with a breath in, and then thread the arm under your chest, reach to the left with your exhale. And then breathe in, reach the arm up again. And breathe out to thread it under and hover the shoulder one more time, up. And this time when you thread the arm through, you'll place your shoulder and your head down to the floor. You can either crawl your left hand to the front of the mat, or you can thread it behind your back. I usually like to rest my arm just wherever in front of my face to really let this be a more relaxing position and stretch. And then just stay here and take a couple deep breaths. Take one more breath. And then start to place the left hand back in front of your face on the mat. Reach the right arm up one last time. And then bring the hand down to the floor and do 1 or 2 cat-cows before we get to the other side. Just finding some neutral movements before we start the left side. And then begin to finish out the last round to tabletop. And this time reach the left arm up with a breath in, thread it under and hover your shoulder as you exhale. And do 2 more like that, lifting on the breath in, reaching to the right as you breathe out. One last time, up. This time when you thread it through, place your shoulder and your head down to the floor. Same options with the right arm. You could either crawl it forward, you could thread it behind your back, or my personal favorite, just letting it relax right on the mat in front of your face. Take a couple deep breaths into the back of your lungs, stretching out the tight shoulders here, and thread the needle pose. Take 1 more deep breath. And then place the right hand back in front of your face, reach the left arm back up to the sky, and then place the hand down to the floor. And again, do a couple rounds of cat-cow before we get into the next posture. Now our next posture, we'll use the blocks, if you have them, as a little bench underneath your seat. So you can take either 1 block between your ankles on the medium setting, or you can take both blocks if you need a little bit more height. If you don't have a block, you can also choose to sit cross-legged. So choose the position that works for you. If you happen to have a blanket, you can also sit up on a blanket while you're cross-legged, but I'm going to sit up onto 1 block today. So go ahead, place the block between your ankles, find a seat, make yourself comfortable. We'll do a couple poses sitting in this position. So we'll start first by taking your right hand onto your head, drop your head over to the right, and then reach your left fingers down towards the mat. Stretching out the neck. Take a deep breath, maybe close your eyes. And then staying on this side, just turn your chin slightly down towards your right collarbone. Stretching more the back of the neck for a moment. And then we'll turn the chin slightly up, stretching the front of the neck. And then release your arm off your head, bring your head back to the center, and we'll take the other side. Tilt your head over to the left, take your left hand onto your head, reach your right fingers towards the floor, stretching out the opposite side of your neck now for a couple breaths. And then turn your chin slightly down. Well, I guess I started with up on this side. And then turn your chin slightly down here. Stretch the back of the neck. Take one more breath. And then remove your hand off your head. Bring your head to the center and do a couple shoulder rolls forward and a couple shoulder rolls the other way, back again. And then we'll reach now your left arm out to the left. Again, drop your head over to the right, but this time turn your palm to rotate up towards the ceiling and then down and behind you. So take a couple of rotations through your arm as your head is dropping to the side. And then replace that hand and go the other way. Drop your left ear over, reach your right fingers out, rotate down and up a couple of times. Feel that rotation in your arm, stretching out the neck. Then bring your head to the center and now we'll reach out both your arms. Turn one palm down, one palm up. Look at the palm that's facing up and switch. As you turn your gaze down your opposite arm, flip that palm to face up and the other palm to face down. So adding that rotation there to stretch out the neck and mobilize through the shoulders. Great job. And now we'll start to come off of that little bench that we created and we'll go to lay face down. So just move all the props out of the way if you're using them. Lower all the way down onto your belly. And then once you're there, outstretch your left arm to the left side or the right arm to the right side there. Lower your head down, bend your left knee and start to roll over onto the right side of your body. You can always tuck both your knees in onto your mat or step your top foot back behind you off your mat. The left hand can stay on the floor in front of you or thread behind your back for a little more intensity. Taking a couple of breaths here, stretching out the right side of the chest and the shoulder. And then we'll slowly place that left hand again back in front of you onto the mat. Use it to roll yourself onto your belly, straightening out the legs. And now we'll take the other side. Outstretch the left arm to the left, bend your right knee, and roll over onto the left side of your body. You could either step your top foot behind you, tuck your knees into your chest, or find the position that works best for you. And that right hand, if you want a little more, thread it behind your low back. Take a couple deep breaths here, stretching out the chest, that left shoulder here. Try to relax the head, relax your jaw. Use that right hand to slowly begin to roll yourself again back onto your belly. Slide your left hand back in and we'll press up to hands and knees. And if you want a blanket under your knees, find it there now and then come up to stand on your shins. Interlace your fingers behind your back. Start to straighten your arms, lock out the elbows, maybe lift your chin up. You could do a couple neck rolls here, stretching out a little more one more time through the chest. And then release that, interlace. Sit your hips to your heels and widen your knees apart. Begin to walk your hands forward into child's pose. One nice variation I like is bringing the hands together and then bending the elbows to bring the hands behind the back of the neck. If you want to add a little bit more intensity, you can take the blocks to frame your face and then place your elbows onto the blocks to elevate them a little bit higher than your head. If the lower setting feels good, you could even try the medium setting for a more intense shoulder and tricep stretch. And this will be our final stretch. So go ahead, take the variation that feels best for you. Take a couple deep breaths, relishing in these last few moments that you set aside for yourself today. One more deep breath. then you can begin to slowly straighten the arms, lift your head up. If you use the blocks, move them out of the way. And just give yourself a moment to thank yourself for taking aside this time, cater to your body. Make sure that you leave me a comment below. Let me know how it felt. I know my shoulders feel so much better at the end of this. And if you'd like more videos like this, make sure that you like and subscribe. Your support means so much to me. And thank you again for practicing with me today. Namaste. Bye, everybody.